everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be discussing the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 13 episode 4. So stay tuned. Alright you guys, so I didn't take notes because honestly Atlanta hasn't been giving a whole lot that is note-taking worthy. However, this was one of the better episodes of the season so far. There was a lot of things going on, so I'm just going to try to break it down by memory, by person. At the beginning of the episode, we see Cynthia, Mal, and Kenya going to do yoga. First of all, Kenya was definitely struggling heavily, and which is very surprising because Kenya was always like super fit. She's always taken so much pride in her physical like appearance and stamina, so it's actually quite interesting to see that she was struggling as hard as she was in this yoga class. Cynthia made a joke, was like, is this even a beginner's class? And just for those of you who do not know, yoga can be very intense. It takes a lot to control your body and to hold poses and things like that. And poor little Kenya, honey, she was not feeling it. And I think that might have aided in her rowdiness as the conversation went on and they began discussing Cynthia's wedding. And basically it's explained to Kenya that the issue that Cynthia was having with Mike is not expressing that she would still get married to him on 10/10/20. So like I said in my last review, Mike's whole thing was not about it being a big wedding or anything. It's about this is the date that y'all set, and whether, and despite hell or high water, y'all, that they were still going to get married. And Cynthia was not giving him that. Now the way Kenya went in reading Cynthia about the only reason why she doesn't want to get married is because she wants it on the show, and if the show isn't included and if the cameras aren't included, then she doesn't want to do it. Now I don't think that, to me, that's not the energy or the vibe that I was getting from Cynthia. I don't understand why Kenya jumped to that conclusion. In my opinion, I think Cynthia did want this big wedding. She did want this extravagant wedding. Yes, she did want, the show to capture it, but I think that was more for her own insecurities because of, again, the wreck of a wedding that she had with Peter. I don't think it was because she just necessarily wanted this attention specifically on the show like Kenya was trying to make it out. The thing is, Kenya does a lot of things specifically because it's on camera and because it's on the show, and so maybe that's why she just always puts people in that lens of, you're doing this to get attention on the show. And I don't think that that was necessarily Cynthia's motive. I think she's actually absolutely crazy, or she's acting unreasonable, I'll say, for how adamant she has been about having this big 250 plus wedding during a pandemic. I do think that is just too much, but I think Kenya's going off and her reasoning behind it is a little bit more projection. Y'all drop down in the comments and tell me what y'all think down below. But anyway, whatever Kenya said, and as crazy and as over the top as it was that she was saying it, I guess Cynthia heard it and was like, I just want him to know that I love him. And another thing, I don't like how Kenya talks to Cynthia. Kenya reprimands Cynthia like she's a child. And this is not her first time doing it. And you couldn't be my friend talking to me like that. It would really rub me the wrong way. Like, I would not be able to be Kenya's friend. The next major kind of scene that we got was with Drew and her husband sitting down for counseling. Now my husband, while we were sitting there watching it, he looked at me, he said, don't you go on no rant on your video. So I'm going to try not to. Basically, they were going to have their counseling session. So before the counseling session, they're sitting there with their mom, and the mom is trying to be, supportive, like, well, hopefully this will work for y'all and y'all will, move forward. And we learn here that this isn't the first time that they've done counseling. They've done it many times in the past, but it doesn't work. And Drew put it on him to her mom, was like, well, when we've gone in the past, we get homework and somebody doesn't do the homework, and so then we're in the same place. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Because at the end of the day, when you're doing counseling and they send you home with homework, it's not one person, it's y'all supposed to be doing it together. You get what I'm saying? So her not only blaming him for their breakdown, but also saying that to your mom, it's just like that is going to further put a bad taste in her mouth, and that's probably already why he feels away, because it seems as though Mama J inserts herself into their relationship from just a little bit that we've seen, and this is again just kind of proving that, in my opinion. So the counselor gets there, and y'all, I was so aggravated watching this counseling scene. I was so aggravated watching it. The counselor asks Drew to say, you know, what it is that she would want, and she says again that she wants transparency, she wants genuine love for her son. And the counselor asks her, what does that look like, and she kind of explains it again. She brings up, if you're gonna leave, letting me know where you are, don't just go to Tampa, and this kind of thing. The whole time, Ralph is his name, Barf. The whole time he was just sitting there looking like his entire, first of all, his face and his demeanor during this counseling session was that of uninterested and not wanting to be there. In my opinion, he very well could have wanted to be there, but it bothered me. So then we went on to talk about his upbringing and his familial history, and that is something that is very important, especially when you're doing couples counseling, because you need to understand that as adults, majority of the things and the way that we do things are shaped because of our childhood, and sometimes it can be something as nuanced as with Ralph leaving that reoccurs in his adult life. So we found out that him and his mother had a strained relationship to the point where he felt like the man of the house and he left. And after leaving, that's when he got an apology from his mom for how she acted, because then she went on to get evicted and things like that. That whole story said a lot to me, and it made sense to me on why he has some, it seems as though he has some chauvinistic tendencies. If you are a child who's been put into the role of a parent or been put into the head of the household role, especially at a young age, that is going to shape how you interact with other adults once you get there, because you feel as though you've been an adult your whole life, so you know what's best. And that is exactly kind of the dynamic that we're seeing between him and Drew. And what aggravates me is that it seems like Drew shrinks around him. It's just like she shrinks herself around him. Am I the only person that saw that? And the counselor upset me. It didn't seem like she wouldn't have been my counselor. I'm sorry. That would have been our first and only session, because while I understood what she was saying, she was like, him leaving was the only time he had received a sorry from his mom, so that could be in correlation to why he leaves now as an adult, very well. But she, to me, was putting entirely too much onus and blame on Drew. Like, as a counselor, you're supposed to be giving both sides. You get what I'm saying? And so when she was sitting there and really, like, it seemed like she was kind of gaslighting Drew's experience within this relationship, and Drew went on to say that she takes a lot of it, and you can tell that she does. And the part that blew me the most about this counseling session is when Drew's literally sitting there physically, like, she's crying, she's upset, she's physically upset, and then this is before she even starts crying, and he's like laughing. And he's like, if this is the woman that you love and you see that she is hurting or in some type of pain, I think he like touched her shoulder, but it didn't even seem genuine. When he did it, I was like, what was that for? Like, he seems unengaged emotionally. In my opinion, I don't know these people, but I'm just saying, from what I'm seeing, he seems unengaged emotionally and harsh. And so when she's legitimately kind of breaking down a little bit, and you as her husband can sit there and watch watch her do this, and it wasn't until the prodding of the counselor for him to even try to come in and console her or to offer some type of affection. He's not an affectionate guy, maybe, and that's all well, great and good. That just would not work for me. That could not work for me. That whole counseling session to me again showed major cracks in their relationship. Will they fix it? Hopefully so. We don't want to see the dissolution of a family. However, later on in the episode, when we found out that his father passed, Drew even said herself that they put everything on the back burner and they're gonna, be a family unit for, the father, the funeral, all that's well, great and good. But see, something about when you put things on the back burner, they're still back there stewing, and eventually it's going to bubble over. You can't just continue to have arguments, continue to have a breakdown in communication, continue to not show affection, continue to blame, continue to leave. All of these things can't continue to happen, and you think something's going to change just because, when it's time for us to get on and put on a show and put on that happy face, we're able to do it. This show is really going to test them. That's all I'm going to say. I hope I didn't rant. We also see Candy and Kenya having a nice little brunch situation, and this is the scene where we kind of see This is the scene where we kind of see Kenya kind of questioning Portia's motives for protesting, and Candy wasn't here for it. Now, this is my thing with the friendships that Kenya has. No one pushes back against her. Like, they let her sit there and say any and everything, and they might rebut her in their confessionals, but no one ever in the moment really pushes back on her. So when she was saying that, are they doing it the right way? They're not even out there in mass. They're putting everybody's health in danger. Why does it seem that she gets, arrested on camera? I think she might have said that in a tweet, but whatever. Candy was just like, but she's out there fighting. She's out there trying to keep Brianna's name alive. And it honestly felt real, like, I don't want to say haterish, but like she was just trying to find a reason to be upset. We already know the history between Kenya and Portia, and we already knew that the little truce between them wouldn't last long. And it seems like in this scene, Kenya just wanted a reason to invalidate the work that Portia is doing. Whether Portia's out there wearing a mask or not, that ain't none of my business. As far as I seen, she was in mask also, but when you're speaking, she would take her mask off. I don't know. But at the end of the day, she's still out there doing the work for the cause. And for you, Miss USA, who that is a, national title that you're so proud of. And I'm sure, one of the questions is world peace, honey. Well, peace starts at home. What are you out there doing anything in the movement? Even if Portia is doing things, leveraging her celebrity in order to get names put out there, that's kind of the point. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of the point. Leveraging your celebrity, leveraging your title, leveraging, your notoriety in society to make things happen. There's nothing wrong with that. So Kenya just sounded like she just sounded like a hater. But anyway, so we also find out that she wants to throw a surprise engagement party for Cynthia. She feels bad that she almost messed up the engagement, so she wants to make up for it, but she wants Candy to kind of extend the invite because she's afraid that if she extends the invite, then everybody's not going to show up. I wonder why when you do catty things, like we're going to talk about later. The last major thing of the episode is Lauren, Portia's sister, throwing her like a party, kind of just like a celebration of Portia and her doing all this work. Lauren made a point to call everyone who she wanted to be there and invite them. She called Candy while she's on the phone with Candy. Marlo's there. She's like, oh, Marlo, boo, yes, my raspy boy sister. Yes, you're more than welcome to come. LaToya kind of gets an invite because she's they're filming and Candy extends the invite. And then we see Lauren call Cynthia and invite her. And when Cynthia asks, well, is Kenya invited? Lauren says, well, I did not invite her. I just really want everything to go well for my sister. I just don't want any drama. I don't want any mess. You know, I want people that are going to be on good vibes. As a sister planning as a sister planning a party, that made sense, especially when the party is kind of in celebration of activism. Now, I've never seen a party like this before, but also we're on the Real Housewives, so parties have to be thrown, and I don't think that it was thrown in a I think that Lauren did a good job. I'm gonna say that. I think that Lauren did a good job. I think it was tastefully done in what it was for. And Portia did genuinely seem surprised later on in the episode. But anyway, let me get back to the invitations. So Cynthia asks if Kenya invited. She says, I didn't invite her. Cynthia kind of pushes a little bit more to the point where Lauren is like, you know what, Cynthia, okay, I trust you. I trust your girl is going to be on the best behavior. Please don't make me regret it. I just want this to be a good day for my sister. I don't want no mess at this party. Cool. So fast forward, we see that it's the day of the party, and apparently Lauren texts Cynthia and kind of uninvited, even though she never really invited Kenya. First of all, what I will say is, if I were Lauren, when I said I called who I wanted to invite to the party, that would have been the end of that. If I didn't feel comfortable inviting Kenya to the party, I would have never invited her to begin with. Point blank. Oh, well, can Kenya come? Well, I'm just thinking I want to keep it a little more intimate for my sister. So maybe at the next one, but for this particular party, no. Period. Stand 10 toes down in it. So I did not think that it was right for Lauren to uninvite Kenya. I don't. Just, if you didn't want to invite her, if you didn't want her to be a +1, then that should have just been made very clear from the beginning. Should have stayed with it and just called it a day. It definitely causes more drama when you say, all right, she can come. And then you're like, never mind, she can't come. You get what I'm saying? Now, according to Layla Lynn, Lauren sent the disinvitation literally 2 hours after the phone call with Cynthia. Whether that is true or not, whether, you know, production knew, all of that, whether Cynthia just kind of held off, that is neither here nor there. We are, you know, we can't speak on that. We can only speak on what we saw on the show. So what we saw on the show is that the day of the party, they're getting dressed. Cynthia calls Kenya. Kenya seems to be excited. She's talking about a gift that she has for baby Pilar, and Cynthia lets her know that she is not welcome at the party. And of course, that would make Kenya mad. Like, I don't even blame her for that. Like, how you gonna say I can come and then the day of be like, nah, I can't come? You know, that is shady. That would definitely be shady, and that would cause more drama than need be, especially because now it seems like her and Portia have an issue, and let her tell it they don't, even though we already know how their relationship go. But at this moment, there really is no issue. So you disinvited me to the party makes me think like, oh, did you tell your sister something else about me? Like, is there an issue? That just didn't work out. That just wasn't right. I'm glad that she still sent the gift for baby Pilar. And honestly, I don't blame her for being a little upset about not being invited to the party, or being disinvited, or however you want to say it. I don't feel that she was wrong in her feelings for that. Now, what she does next episode, we'll talk about it next episode. But as far as this episode, I think that she was well within her right. Like, I understand that. So we get to the party. Everyone is dressed in all black. It's really cute. I loved the pictures that they had, everything just kind of showing the movement. Also showing Hosea Williams, her grandfather, and how she's kind of continuing the legacy. Excuse me. I was like, oh, okay, Candy coming in there looking extra pro black with her afro puffs. I was like, okay, boo, on theme. While everybody's showing up to the party, you have Tanya and Marlo, who took Portia out to kind of distract her and things and just hang out with her so that Lauren could get everything ready for the party. We see the new friend Latoya and Fallon. They both showed up, and it's now officially episode 4. The jury is no longer out for me on Latoya. I'm over her. I'm over her. Like, when they were discussing Fallon's husband, they asked, how many children does she have? So, well, my husband had 5, and then we had 3 together. So in total, we have 8. And Latoya goes, "Oh, so your husband's older, huh?" Because you just look like someone who dates older men. What, Latoya? Like, and she kept doing, like, saying little slick stuff like, "Girl, I'm done. How could you have friends? How could you have girlfriends if this is how you interact with people on first meeting them? Where is your etiquette? I understand, people come onto these shows. I'm sure she's watched the show. I'm sure she wants a little shock factor, but this ain't how you do it at this point." Now, that has been how many interactions with people that you do not know that have been just disrespectful, almost like inappropriate. You get what I'm saying? Like, Latoya, I'm done. I would so much rather just continue to see Fallon as a friend of the show. Latoya, I'm done. I can't. Candy compared her to like a Kenya on steroids. Well, we don't need that. Kenya already wears us out. We don't need a Kenya on steroids. Latoya, I'm done. Y'all let me know. The jury had been out. I was really, really, really trying. I was truly trying to give her a chance. I'm done. So finally, it's the time Portia gets to her party, and you can tell that she's actually genuinely shocked. And it was really, really sweet. Like, it touched me to see how shocked she was. And she was like, y'all didn't have to do this. I just do this out of the kindness of my heart. And I really do not think that she's doing all of her activism and things like that for recognition. Is she leveraging her celebrity? Yes. But if she's doing it for recognition, I don't think so. Especially from her reaction from this party. I think she's legitimately just doing what she feels is right. There's something deep down in her blood, that just wants to better the community for the next generation. The party went well. They had lamb. Y'all know I love some lamb. Y'all seen in my Kwanzaa series, honey. I am a sucker for a lamb chop. They ate. Everything was good. Portia gave a little bit of a speech. She did kind of seem like kind of apprehensive, kind of shy to even be receiving any type of recognition, even if it's just amongst her friends. Like I said, just the way that Portia's normally really kind of bubbly, goofy, and over the top, and just the way that she responded to everything lets me know that this was genuine for her. Once she gave her speech, it's like whenever she goes to talk about these social injustice issues, her whole tone changes. Her whole aura changes. Everything changes. And I like to see Portia Luther King. I like to see that change her. I like to see that growth. We can't keep holding her to who she was 8 years ago when she got on this show. She has definitely evolved and grown, and for the better. Some other people could learn from that. One more little thing. When she went upstairs to change, I thought she was going to put on all black like everybody else. Honey, she put on another super colorful outfit. Like, it seemed like she put on the most colorful outfit that she could find. I just thought that was funny, because I thought, like, you were going to go up there and put on black like everybody else. But, I mean, it's your party, boo, do you. But that's it, you guys. That's all I really have to say about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If y'all have anything else that y'all want to discuss, drop it down in the comments. I'm always here to hear your opinions. We can always talk back. If y'all don't agree, it's perfectly okay. Just make sure you're respectful down in the comments. I love to see it. And I'll see y'all for the next video. If you are part of my Patreon, you already have access to my Facebook Friday video. So if you do want to go ahead and see what that video is going to be on, honey, you can kind of get a little hint from this skin. That's all I'm going to say. Get a little help from this skin today. Join my Patreon. Links down in the description box below. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.